Yeah, we'll see what happens anyway. But that was just our advice to UAE, I guess. But yeah, nevertheless, moving on to the two-time Tour de France champion, Jonas Vingegaard now. And yeah, this was something Patrick wanted to talk about. He's rumored to be going to the Vuelta Espana. I don't know what you guys feel of this or think of this. I desperately want Pogacar to go back to the Vuelta. But yeah, what do you think he can do? And is he going to be working for Roglic? And we're back in 2020 Vuelta España again.
I don't know what to expect from him. I think going back to what Ewan was saying earlier about how I don't think that Jonas went that deep in this tour. I don't think he did. I think that he's not going to be going into the Vuelta on his knees. I think that he actually might be seriously competitive in the Vuelta, to be honest with you. The whole thing of Roglic being there, of course, Roglic did the Giro, so he's going to have very much ideal warm-up for the Vuelta that we know so far. We haven't heard of any mishaps or anything going on in his training, so it's hard to tell what Jumbo are going to do, whether it's going to be pure co-leadership. I'd expect that's what they're going to do because every team loves the buzzword co-leadership now. You know, even if it's like Adam Yates was a co-leader, didn't necessarily do anything leadership-y, but you know, he was up there. So
He didn't have to
I,
wait for Pogacar and Col de la Loz.
that is true. To be fair, you are right. But yeah, I'm not sure whether to go Roglic, Jonas, both of them. I feel like they either way, you'll be in a pretty solid driving seat. I think Remco will be scared. I think G will be scared. I think everybody else will be scared hearing that Jonas is going to the Vuelta. It's a pretty terrifying prospect.
Don't expect Pogacar to be there at the moment. I agree with Patrick, to be honest, in this one. I feel like, like back in the day when Froome would do the Tour de France, win it, and then do the Vuelta, give a really, really good ride in the Vuelta. I feel like that's going to happen again here. But the way Jonas looked in that final week of the Tour de France, he had the whole sort of new Tour de France champion kind of thing last year, where he was like, became like an overnight sensation. I know people knew about him beforehand, but like being second place at Tour de France is different to being a winner of the Tour de France, doing all these media appearances, being funneled around television interviews, post-tour criteriums, and all that. This year, he'll be more like, it won't be as heavy on him. It won't be as overwhelming. Then go into the Vuelta. I think he's going to give a really good shot. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins. I just feel bad for Roglic, to be honest. Like, I wanna hug him because, like, a couple of years back, this was his team. Like, he was like the leader. He was the guy who like made Jumbo-Visma GC squad, and like the Vuelta's been his little project. He wants to get that fourth win, and then all of a sudden, Jonas gets parachuted in. It's like, wow, the guy who took my Tour de France leadership away from me is now taking my Vuelta leadership away from me. I don't know. I feel like Vingegaard is now going to have like effigies of him like burnt on the stake in like the middle of Ljubljana. Like all across Slovenia, there'll be like dartboards with the face of Vingegaard in the middle, like thinking about like, wow, he beat because in Slovenia it's really tribal between like Pogacar fans and Roglic fans. Roglic is probably more popular, more famous. And now that like Vingegaard is going to take away that big Roglic project of winning the Vuelta again, damn. And then he took the Tour de France away from Tadej. Nobody's gonna be happy with this situation. But I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see. We haven't seen a Tour de France winner go into the Vuelta in a while. Froome, 2017.
Froome, yeah, I think
And he
Froome was
won.
for the last one. Well, yeah, I think that. Do you reckon this is partly stoked by the fact that Sepp Kuss went down and he was provisionally down for the Vuelta, and therefore he has been kind of taken out, and Jonas has been put in as like a swap?
The Bottas was rumored a while, like about a week ago. It seemed pretty strong. A lot of them are already on an altitude camp in Tignes at the moment in the Alps. So it's a couple of those guys jumped in with. Well, Kuss was spoken about. I think Kuss might still be there, but Vingegaard getting launched in is a bit of a surprise. But I think he'll take the role of one of the lesser guys. I know Tom Gloag is at the altitude camp. He might be switched out, given that he's already ridden the Giro this year. I mean,
God.
I also think that they're highly motivated by the fact that if they win the Vuelta, they have all three Grand Tours in this year.
Gosh, yeah, and honestly, it looks so likely with Roglic and Vingegaard that that's going to be the case. I
Who's
mean,
their biggest
gosh,
rival? Like Remco. That's it.
Remco.
Ayuso.
Honestly, Vuelta start list.
That's
Whoa,
really good.
hang on. Remove a sprint a bit from it because none of the sprinters tend to go there unless they're literally forced there by a pitchfork by their team. This is an insanely good GC fight. And especially since we've got a mountaintop finish up the Tourmalet and the Angliru. Like, whoa, this is going to be a hell of a Vuelta, right?
The Angleroo was where Vingegaard kind of made his first name internationally, other than the Tour of Poland win. It was guiding up the GC group with Roglic, but now it might be the other way.
I mean,
yeah.
But
then it really does feel like there's quite a few Galacticos in one go. If you have Roglic, Vingegaard, then someone else, maybe but then Ayuso's going to have Almeida with him as well. That's quite a lethal double act. But then we know how UAE work when they have both of those guys. Well, Almeida plus teammate co-leader on a start list. It doesn't usually work out very well. They're quite sort of chaotic. Yeah, I mean, the Vuelta should be interesting. Don't forget, Vuelta Espana Enric Mas is built like no other. What if this is the Vuelta Espana he actually wins? Rodriguez and Garrett Thomas are also going to be there. A flying Pip Hogana, who just won a bunch sprint the other day. It's going to be a good Grand Tour.
I mean, we just laughed at ourselves doing predictions, so we might as well do one here. Who do you think is going to win the Vuelta?
Jonas.
Yeah, I'm going to say Jonas. First ever Dane to win the Vuelta Espana.
I would say Jonas. His legs are so good at the moment.
Well, that was boring.
Hang on, I'm going to check. Roglic.
I want Roglic to win so bad.
Roglic for the fourth.
Yeah, would that be the record? Because Heras, well, there's an asterisk on Heras as well, but 3 or 4.
4. And Primoz is not getting any younger. He needs to before he moves to Ineos.
I mean, or Israel. I mean,
yeah, it's almost Israel age.
I mean, let's face it. Jumbo would ideally prefer to win the Vuelta with Roglic, because then you get the third Grand Tour and you also get that nice kind of personal ambition of Primoz's is ticked off as well. However, if he struggles, then they will likely switch pretty quickly to Jonas if he's still in there.
I want the team to get like super like high drama. This is like the Netflix Unchained stuff I want, because like Sepp Kuss has worked with Roglic for so long. They're like really good friends. I know Kuss has worked with Vingegaard closely recently, but like they're like long term like teammates. Then you've got like Tratnik, who was brought into the squad as well, who's Slovenian, who knows Roglic from years gone by. You've got Koen Bouwman, who rode with him at the Giro, sort of lived and died but by those rides. Robert Heesink, who rode so closely to Roglic in 2020 in that sort of victory lap year until La Planche, 2021 as well, where they were really going for Roglic to win that race. I want the team to like have arguments and shout at each other from across the bus, where like you've got Jan Tratnik like screaming at other riders saying, "We have to work for Primoz, no risk, no glory," and like the whole team is like sort of like split in half. I want proper cyclismo. I want drama.
Like Stephen Roach, 1987 in the Giro, where the guy, one of his teammates said, "Roach, I want you to work for me in the Giro and then I will work for you in the Tour." Then he found out the guy, I can't remember the Italian guy, had a holiday booked through all of July. So he just went, "Nope, I'm just going to attack the team." So him and Shane Elliott were against everyone else on the team. And I mean, that could happen. Yeah. Oh, the 80s cycling. Great stories around that.
Also in the 80s, I think, wasn't it Bernard Hinault and Greg LeMond used to share a team, and now it's super tribal in the squad of who was riding for who. I want to see Jan Tratnik shout at Jonas Vingegaard, throw bottles on the bike.
On a slightly different tangent, but like the Belgian team for the World Championships, people talk about the different like alliances within the Belgian squad of like, oh, well, Remco's got a couple of teammates here. And then there's just like Stuyven there, like, I don't know what to do.
I also want to point out, this is based on a high fictional narrative. Jumbo Visma will probably work very harmoniously together, probably with race and get someone to podium,
1, 2, 3, that's what they're going for. 1, 2, 3.
That would be so boring. Why would they do this to us?